Hey everyone, it's Russ here, and Catalog, a Web3 enabled music platform that allows artists to mint unique NFT digital masters of their tracks, has helped artists earn over $740,000 since the project started in this March of 2021, and that equates to roughly 187 million plays on Spotify. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Catalog platform and talking about some of its most interesting features, some very compelling projects that have happened recently on the platform, as well as how you can get involved if you're interested. So when we head over to the Catalog website, you can clearly tell it's a very sleek and nice looking user interface. And up here in the right hand corner, if you haven't already logged in, you'll be able to log in right here using either MetaMask or I believe Wallet Connect. You can sign in with your Web3 wallet. And from this beginning user interface, you can scroll down and you can take a look at all of the different tracks that have recently been pressed on the Catalog platform. Right now we're sorting by the latest, but you can also sort by the earliest, or you can do it alphabetically as well. And if I zoom in a little bit, you'll be able to see that underneath each record, there's either a green number, a countdown, there's either no number, or you can have a bid option or a buy option. Now, each of these relates to the different ways that you as a collector can purchase and collect these digital pressings of these artist tracks. If a pressing has the buy option, like this track right here, you're able to just buy for that given price and it will be added directly to your collection. Now, the bid function works a little bit different. You can see for this artist, they've likely set a reserve price for their pressing, and once someone bids that minimum bid of 0.25 ETH, well, the auction will begin and it will become one of these active auctions that we see up here, which will start a countdown from 24 hours and count down to 0, over which that time many different collectors may opt to bid on the record, and whoever has the highest bid when the time runs out will be the one who's able to close the auction and collect the record. If, as a user, you want to buy or bid on a pressing, you're likely going to go to that individual song's page. You can click on the title of it and it will take you to a unique page just for that song. You can see a whole bunch of different information here. Of course, the title, the person who originally pressed the record. But if we scroll down here, we get more details that the artist can add when they're pressing the record, when they press the record, and if it's in the bid function or the bid process right now, like this record is, you can see the time remaining, the current bid, who was the most recent bidder on this piece, and you actually have the options right here to place a bid. You can also see here there's something very interesting called the creator share, and for different records you'll see a different number here under creator share. This creator share is set by the artist at the time that they press the record, and it relates to the percentage of each sale that will go to them whenever the record is sold between various collectors. So if an artist is to press this record, and in the case of the example we just saw, it had a 25% creator share, every time the record is sold, 25% of that sale would funnel right back to the artist. Obviously, this is a game changer when it comes to the way that people value the music industry. In my eyes, there are some pros and cons to either having a high creator share or a low creator share on a record that you press. If you have a high creator share and you have a collector that's incentivized by profit, well, they might be less likely to frequently trade your record because it would take a greater gain from their original investment for them to make a profit because of that 25% that's going to go to the original creator. Now, on the flip side, if you have a very low creator share, well, that might incentivize more frequent trading of your original pressing because there's less of a percentage going to the creator and it's easier for a collector, again, a collector that's incentivized by profit, to want to sell your record and as a result for you to collect those royalties. Catalog also has a really interesting feature called slices, which allows one prospective buyer of a record, if they're trying to buy it from a previous collector of that record, it allows that new buyer to sort of sweeten the deal to convince the seller to let go of their precious record. Instead of a new buyer offering the previous collector just plain ETH to buy their record, they can also introduce this slice functionality, which is essentially a promise that if this new collector is to ever sell that record in the future, well, the previous owner will get a cut of that too. And this is all guaranteed via smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you're offered a slice by a collector that has a particularly well-known taste in music, you may reasonably assume that in the future, this high-end collector will be able to sell the record for a higher amount, meaning that you'll be able to collect your slice of that future sale. Now, we're not going to use any splits in this example, but for this live auction, if we wanted to place a bid, we could click this button and it will show us that we need to bid 5% higher than the current maximum bid. Right now, I don't have enough ETH in my wallet to pay for this, but you can see that this is what it looks looks like. One thing that you should note though is that every time you make a bid on an auction, you are going to have to pay some Ethereum gas costs for that transaction that needs to go through to confirm your bid. So that means when you're bidding on a record, even if you don't end up winning the auction, you will have fronted a little bit of cash to place those bids because of the gas fees. This is something that happened to me when I was recently bidding on my friend's recent catalog pressing that I didn't end up eventually getting. You can also get a little bit more information about the people you're putting bids against, or any user on the platform for that matter. In this case, let's take a look at John Waltz, the creator of this individual track. You can go to their profile, you'll see their profile picture, as well as these three tabs: Catalog, Spaces, and Collection. Catalog will show you anything that they've pressed on Catalog in the past. Collection will show you anything they've collected. And Spaces, I believe that this is the newest feature on Catalog. Spaces will allow you to sort of sort tracks into different playlists. You can see John here has Into D as a playlist, and when we go in here we can see that there's 3 records ranging 5 minutes, and you can see all of the records that are in that playlist, and you can make a playlist out of tracks that both you own and tracks that you don't own the original catalog pressing of. The whole system currently runs on Zora's auction house backend, which allows projects like Catalog to more easily set up their own unique auction houses and sales systems instead of defaulting to other NFT marketplaces like OpenSea, which often can take hefty cuts. Now, when it comes to the data behind each catalog pressing, each NFT points to different files that represent the audio for the actual NFT, the cover art, as well as the metadata. And this is all stored on IPFS, or the Interplanetary File System, which essentially means that these files are stored in a decentralized manner across a whole bunch of different computers instead of inside of just one centralized database. While it is still possible for the files behind each NFT to be changed or modified, Catalog actually has the ability to check the fingerprint of the NFT to see if this data has been changed at all. And in this case, you can see right here via this unmodified tag that for this pressing by Daniel Allen from the Overstim project, you can tell that this data hasn't been changed. And in most cases, on most catalog records that I've seen, the data hasn't been ever changed. One of the beautiful things about NFTs in general is just how interoperable they can be. You can take NFTs created on Catalog and use tooling or products or protocols that weren't even created with Catalog in mind. You can use them in the context of a Catalog record using a multitude of different Web3 technologies. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Here's something really interesting. This is the record The Love Umbrella by Grady, and it was recently pressed and sold on Catalog. But it wasn't sold to just one individual person. This record was sold for 8.1 ETH, and it wasn't just one buyer who paid for that. It was actually a group of people who came together to bid on this collectively through some tooling called PartyBid. Here on the PartyBid page for the Love Umbrella, you can see that a whole bunch of different people pooled their ETH together in order to work their way up until that 8.3 ETH amount that eventually the auction was won for, totaling $38,000. Now here's where things get interesting, because PartyDAO is a layer on top of another protocol called Fractional. Once the PartyBid was successful for the Love Umbrella, it was then sent over to Fractional, where the Fractional protocol then fractionalized this typically non-fungible token. Typically, non-fungible tokens can't be cut up or divided, but Fractional takes a little bit of a different approach. Fractional takes the original NFT and puts it into a vault and then issues tokens that represent shared ownership over this one NFT, and these tokens are distributed to the different people who bid on this auction collectively, proportionally to how much they contributed to the auction. This not only allows you to collect and own music as a group, but it also gives the individual artists who are potentially selling their records the ability to offer certain benefits to people who participated in the bid. Here we can see how Grady, the one who released the Love Umbrella, is actually allowing Love token holders to access exclusive content, and there are, in my mind, endless possibilities on what different artists and creatives could do to sort of create a community around the music they're creating. So we have a record pressed on Catalog, which Catalog is built on top of the Zora Auction House platform, and at the same time we have the ability for people to get together and collectively bid with PartyBid, which is built on top of the Fractional protocol, which allows tokens to be given out for collective ownership over one NFT, which then lets creators do whatever they want with that token. This is part of what has me so excited about what's to come in the next few years. With all of these building blocks that can stack on top of each other, essentially compounding our abilities, we could see totally new use cases for catalog NFTs beyond the already monumental changes that they're making and pushing forward when it comes to digital ownership and how we value artists and musicians. But there are some major challenges that catalog is going to have to deal with in the coming months, chief among which is the high gas fees we're experiencing on the Ethereum network right now. Not only does it cost quite a lot in gas fees to mint a catalog record or a catalog pressing, but it's also quite gas intensive to bid on pieces. This could potentially make it more difficult or even unattractive for people to start using catalog, especially if they're not already Web3 and crypto native. Experiencing those high gas costs could be quite the turnoff. But it's not catalog's fault. I mean, these gas fees are quite high on the Ethereum network, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Even when we have the merge to proof of stake, that's likely not going to change gas costs very much. Ethereum's long-term roadmap is moving on to layer 2s like Optimism, Arbitrum, and eventually some ZK rollups. In terms of Ethereum's long-term roadmap, it's likely that most of the applications that we're going to be using in Web3 are going to be on these layer 2s, while the ETH mainnet is sort of just a settlement layer. This leads Catalog to have some interesting decisions to make. Given these are the digital representations of the masters of these records, maybe it makes sense for them to stay on this main base layer with the highest amount of decentralization and security. But if they want people to be able to more easily bid on and create catalog records, then maybe exploring some layer 2 options could be in Catalog's future. But even with all of these challenges, I'm still super excited about the Catalog project, and you should be too. And there's actually some ways that you can get involved with Catalog right now. The first one is, of course, that Catalog is hiring. They're looking for full stack engineers, product engineers, and engineers on a contract basis. But if these jobs don't sound right to you, there are still ways that you can get heavily involved in the Catalog community. You can always hop inside of the Catalog Discord, and those links are going to be down in the description so you can hop in for yourself and see what's going on, where you can chat with other artists and like-minded people who are interested in the Catalog platform. Now, on top of getting inside of their Discord, they also hold regular Twitter spaces, so make sure to give them a follow here on Catalog's Twitter, because they're constantly having different spaces with artists and other collaborative things with other music Web3 projects that are going on in the community. And while you're following Catalog, you might as well follow me there too. There's a link in the description to my Twitter. I'll keep you posted whenever I post videos like this, and this is the first of many videos I'm going to be making on different music Web3 projects, along with other DeFi related things that I'm interested in at any given time. So make sure to follow me there and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to stay more up to date. But with all of that said, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video has helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.